Reform UK-led Durham County Council is facing a deepening financial crisis after its projected budget deficit grew by a further £11 million in just 2 months. The forecasted black hole, which stood at £71 million in September, has now risen to £82 million in the latest November estimate. Council officials say the soaring deficit has been driven by continued inflationary pressures, rising costs in children's social care, and increasing expenditure on school transport. In response, the Council's Cabinet has approved a £10 million package of proposed cuts to go out for consultation. The measures include the loss of 88 council jobs, around a third of which are currently vacant, and higher parking charges in several parts of the county, expected to save £565,000. Other services facing reductions include grass cutting, litter picking, and bus routes, as the council attempts to avoid imposing steep increases in council tax. However, the rapid growth of the financial black hole means the entire £10 million in proposed savings has already been wiped out by rising costs, leaving the authority with a £72 million gap to fill over the next 4 years. Darren Grimes, deputy leader of the council and former GB News presenter, described the updated figures as no joke. Addressing the cabinet, he said, "Looking at these numbers, I wish they hadn't bothered updating them. They make for thoroughly depressing reading." He warned that without increasing council tax in line with government expectations, the authority would still face an £18.5 million shortfall next year alone, alongside the £72.1 million medium-term deficit. "That is obviously not financially sustainable," he told colleagues. Grimes emphasised that no final decision had been made on council tax, but admitted the council will have to make tough choices to balance the books. He accused the government of failing to adequately fund statutory services required by law and described the impact on local budgets as a stealth tax. He added, "Avoiding difficult decisions on council tax next year is becoming harder based on these updated figures, which essentially wipe out the impact of the £10 million in savings we've worked hard to develop since the election in May." Durham was one of several local authorities won by Reform UK in the May local elections. Despite promises to cut wasteful spending, reports now suggest that multiple Reform-controlled councils are preparing to raise council tax in their first year. The situation reflects wider challenges Reform UK would face on the national stage, should Nigel Farage ever become Prime Minister, particularly the tension between pledges to cut taxes while also maintaining essential public services. Grimes insisted the council had been getting under the bonnet since taking office, reviewing contracts, cutting costs, and scrapping what he described as expensive gimmicks from the previous administration. He argued that if a council tax rise becomes unavoidable, the blame lies with a government-designed stealth tax, and urged ministers to introduce a multi-year settlement and a revised funding formula. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Your support means a lot.